Nobody drops $80 million on a football building unless they're trying to say something loud without raising their voice. That's what Georgia did. And the wild part is this: the message was never really about paint, brick, or a flashy locker room tour on social media. It was about power. It was about telling every recruit, every rival coach, every booster, every family walking through Athens that Georgia is not trying to keep up with the arms race anymore. Georgia is trying to own it. That's why this move hit differently. While other programs were still talking about culture and tradition like that alone could carry them, Georgia put $80 million into the place where players live, train, recover, eat, meet, and get recruited. According to the University of Georgia, the expanded Butts-Mehre Heritage Hall added roughly 165,000 square feet of new and improved space, with a much larger weight room, sports medicine facility, locker room, player lounge, food service and nutrition areas, and meeting rooms. That is not a cosmetic upgrade. That is an operating system. And when you look at the timing, it gets even colder. Construction started in January 2020, according to Front Office Sports, and Georgia unveiled the project in 2022, right as the program was stepping into national title form. This wasn't random. This was a school lining up infrastructure with ambition. Georgia had already won big on the field, but this was the part where they started trying to make success harder to interrupt. You can beat a team. It's a lot harder to beat a machine. Go to the first sign on this trail and it takes you straight to the center of the whole operation. In May 2022, Georgia formally dedicated the expansion of Butts-Mehre Heritage Hall. According to UGA News, that expansion cost $80 million. Just sit with that number for a second. $80 million for a football operations hub. People throw numbers around in college football all the time, but this one matters because it tells you Georgia's priorities in plain English. The school wasn't spending to look respectable, it was spending to look untouchable. Then you get to the second sign and the scale gets ridiculous. According to HOK, the architecture firm behind the project, the renovation included 136,300 square feet of new space and 28,700 square feet of renovated existing space. DPR Construction, the builder on the job, laid out the functions clearly: locker rooms for team and staff, sports medicine, strength and conditioning, meeting rooms, coaches' offices, equipment management, nutrition, lounge areas, and event space for recruits and players. That means Georgia didn't build a pretty hallway with a few LED lights. They built an ecosystem where almost every daily need of a top college athlete sits inside one coordinated football headquarters. And yes, this is the part where the luxury jumps off the page. Front Office Sports reported that the new space featured a locker room, a barber shop, a player's lounge, a nutrition bar, and a state-of-the-art weight room. Dog Nation reported that the weight room alone measured about 22,000 square feet. 247 Sports and other outlets highlighted details like the plunge pool, the sensory deprivation tank, and the double-sided video board in the weight room. Some people hear that and roll their eyes. Georgia hears that and calls it recruiting, because a 17-year-old elite prospect walking into that building doesn't experience it as excess. He experiences it as evidence that this place is serious about maximizing him. That's where a lot of the national conversation misses the point. They talk about the locker room because it photographs well. The real muscle is in the training and recovery setup. According to DPR Construction, the project expanded strength and conditioning, sports medicine, nutrition, meeting spaces, and staff offices. HOK described it as a transformation designed to support student athletes on and off the field. Business Insider went even further, describing the finished complex as a kind of one-stop shop with dining, recovery, rehab, movement between practice spaces, and daily support systems all folded into one vertical football home. That matters because development is no longer just about coaching speeches and reps in practice. It's about how efficiently a player can recover, learn, fuel up, and prepare without friction. Georgia reduced the friction. And once you see it that way, the bigger strategy comes into focus. According to Dog Post, Georgia had already spent more than $173 million on football upgrades since Kirby Smart took over in 2016. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution put the number at $175 million on more than 350,000 square feet of football facilities projects since Smart was hired in December 2015. Dog Nation later reported that the total football facilities investment had climbed past $240 million. So the $80 million project wasn't a one-off flex. It was part of a sustained campaign to remove excuses, remove gaps, and remove any physical reason a recruit would choose another powerhouse over Georgia. That sustained campaign lines up with everything else happening around the program. The University of Georgia Athletic Association approved a fiscal year 2025 budget of $192.7 million, according to GeorgiaDogs.com, after listing a 2024 budget of $175.2 million. That is a serious athletic machine with serious cash flow. ESPN reported that Kirby Smart became college football's first $13 million coach under his new contract in 2024. You don't have to love that reality to understand what it means. Georgia is not nibbling around the edges. Georgia is funding coaching, facilities, branding, recruiting, and athlete experience at a level designed to keep the program in the top tier every single year. And the recruiting results give that investment teeth. According to 24/7 Sports, Georgia's 2024 recruiting class finished #1 nationally. The 2023 class finished #2. That doesn't prove a locker room wins games by itself. Nobody serious says that. What it does show is that Georgia has built an environment where elite talent keeps saying yes. The building is part of that. The weight room is part of that. The barber shop is part of that. The food service, the recovery spaces, the player lounge, the meeting rooms, all of it feeds the same message. If you come here, everything you need to become great is already in place. And this is where the silence from rivals starts to make sense. It's not really silence, it's calculation. Because what do you say when a program that already won the 2021 national title by beating Alabama 33-18 turns around and keeps building at this level? What do you say when the team that just proved it can reach the summit keeps investing like it hasn't gotten there yet? According to the College Football Playoff recap, that title game ended a 41-year wait for Georgia's first overall national championship since 1980. Once that breakthrough happened, the infrastructure spending stopped looking aspirational. It started looking preventative. Georgia wasn't building to arrive. Georgia was building to stay. That's the treasure at the end of this whole thing. The secret was never hidden in some dramatic phrase or one shiny room. It was hidden in how all the pieces fit together. The luxury locker room grabs attention. The expanded sports medicine area keeps bodies right. The bigger strength setup builds power. The nutrition center keeps development consistent. The meeting rooms sharpen preparation. The recruit event space sells the vision before a kid ever signs his name. According to HOK and DPR Construction, the whole project was deliberately designed around performance, daily function, and athlete support. Georgia didn't just renovate a building, Georgia compressed the distance between talent and output. That's why other programs had to pay attention, even if they didn't want to admit it out loud. Because this kind of project doesn't just make headlines for a weekend, it changes the baseline. It tells everybody else in the SEC and beyond that Georgia has the money, the planning, the administrative alignment, and the appetite to keep turning football into a full-spectrum enterprise. And when a program is doing that while stacking top recruiting classes and operating with one of the biggest athletic budgets in the country, the conversation stops being about whether Georgia belongs at the top. The conversation becomes how long everybody else can keep pretending this is temporary. So here's the real question. Was this an $80 million renovation, or was it Georgia buying another decade of leverage? According to Dawn of the Dog, the project signaled that Georgia was not playing around. According to Dog Post, players walking through it compared the place to a spaceship. That's not how people talk about a remodel. That's how they talk when they realize the standard moved again and they're standing inside it. Drop your take in the comments. Did Georgia just improve a facility, or did it quietly widen the gap? And if you want more behind-the-curtain stories like this from college football, hit subscribe and stay here.